Okay. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bump and Run. I'm Pete Colasano, joined as always by my good friend, Mr. Scott Bracey. What's going on, dude?
PDC Week 2 preseason football. Tonight, we are inching closer.
It's so great. Geno Smith going to get the start. I guess he was a little banged up. He's going to play for the Jets. Get to see a little Fernando Mendoza, who looked pretty good in his initial outing. We'll probably see some more Ty Simpson this week, who looked fantastic. Oh, by the way, we didn't even get into it. Drew Aller looked really good for the Steelers.
He did.
Throwing some dimes. And, before we get into, top stories and stuff, with him or some of these guys, I look and I say, are they just dinking and dunking, or are they, pushing the ball down the field? And both Ty Simpson and Mendoza and Drew Aller were really pushing it down the field.
And Carson Beck.
And Carson Beck, too. Good point. Yeah, these guys were chucking it. It wasn't 5-yard outs, just shallow crosses, screens. It wasn't that kind of stuff. It was real quarterback play. Again, no game planning. Sometimes it's against second and third teamers. It's against some guys who are not going to even be on the team. But to be fair, you're also playing with guys who aren't going to be on the team. So, linemen and stuff like that. So I was actually quite impressed first week with some of these rookie quarterbacks. I think it goes back to what we've talked about. The NIL part of it has helped because they stay in school longer than they would have. Carson Beck is a perfect example. He would have been out last year, and who knows where he would be and what he would look like. But instead, he plays another year, gets more experience, and looked better in the season and looks better now. And, the future's a lot brighter for him. And we'll see a Drew Aller, guy who you aren't particularly high on. And again, one preseason game doesn't mean shit, or it doesn't mean everything, but it means something. There's something there. And maybe it's just the confidence level, whatever, but it's good to see.
Good buddy of mine's a big Penn State guy, and he's texting me and my brother, fucking Franklin held the back, cocksucker.
Look, you and I said that for 2 years. Come on, you got correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Drew Aller the top rated quarterback coming out his, when he came to out of high school?
Yeah.
You got the best guy and you're nickel and diming him. I don't get it, And, we always said, we're getting off on a tangent like we usually do, but we would always say against bad teams or mediocre teams, he would let it rip. But as soon as they play a good team, he put them in a shell. And it's that's not helping anybody. No. And certainly not helping you. That's why you got fired. So anyway, fun stuff. So we got our top stories today. We'll do NFC South. Got a little fantasy time. We got our first fantasy segment. It'll be quick. We'll just take a look at some QBs and stuff like that. We'll do a little each week. But people are starting to do that. Take FedEx Cup is coming up. So we did get our first round. Interesting. A couple guys won't be there anymore. One guy, not a surprise at all.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want you to explain the scoring to me now.
What do you mean?
Because back in the day, 2 years ago, you had on the screen up, down, who's making it, who's not making it. Now that doesn't happen anymore.
Well, they did have it, but we'll get to it later. Yeah, we'll try to work that out. So, but let's start with our top stories of the day, dude. I don't know how this keeps happening, and I don't know if it's something in the water out there. Chargers lose. I'm going to say this guy's name wrong.
Tyler Biadasz.
Biadasz. Yeah, okay, there you go. Starting center. We don't know how long ACL problem is how it's described, so we don't know if it's damage.
Damage, yeah.
Usually we get the word it's so I'm assuming it's not a torn ACL because it's been a few days now, and I'm certain he's gotten an MRI. But I just I look again and I'm here we go. You got your tackles back, but now you lose your big free agent center signing. And again, that's not as big as losing your two starting tackles. Oh, by the way, they also lost the second string tackle got hurt and was out for the rest of the season, the right tackle last year. So whatever. But man, they just can't seem to get out of their way with these injuries on the offensive line, can they?
It's really bizarre. It's Jimmy Harbaugh, the ghost of Michigan past, are coming back to haunt them here.
It really is something. And, we as much as I like Justin Herbert, I agree with you in the playoff stuff and what we need to see from him there. But when you think about they had the 32nd ranked offensive line last year, and I think it was 31st the year before. It's really hard for any quarterback to do well and to succeed when you're under this kind of pressure all the time. And I just hope they straighten it out and they work it out. And nothing more happens. But it is amazing to me. They just keep having these offensive line issues. Who knows what's going on? Are they practicing too hard, too physical? I doubt it, because it just doesn't even. It seems like the rules are even set up that you can't do that anymore. But it's wild to me. Second story that I think is interesting. I'm really curious your opinion on it. Roger Goodell has come out and said there's pretty much no doubt that sometime in the future, and it's kind of vague as to how long he's talking about, like what kind of timeline we're talking about here, but there's no doubt there'll be an international team in the NFL. What do you think about that?
I hate it. It's ridiculous.
So when you hear international team, first of all, what do you think that even means? Like, are you thinking that means London, Europe, something like that?
My guess would be London because they've been going there the longest and they have the most games there, and it's probably the easiest ride to America, you would think, right?
Well, I'm curious because, if you were to put a team in Toronto, if you were to put a team in Montreal, if you were to put a team in Mexico City, because they've played in those up, and I don't know that they've even played.
That's what he means?
I don't know. Well, I definitely don't think it is with Canada because I don't think they've even played an international game there because they got their own football league.
Yeah.
But we have it for hockey, we have it for the NBA, we have it for baseball. So that would make sense. It also would make sense for Mexico City because they have played games there, but it makes the most sense because the time region, the regions, the time regions would be the same. Yeah, they wouldn't fuck with it. I think that's what do I care? Like where they play? They could play in Australia, which they are this year. I don't give a shit, but I look at them like it starts to get unfair. And we're never the ones defending players. We tend to just what's best for fans. But I'm looking at them like, are we? For players that travel, if your home games are in London or in Ireland or wherever, I don't know, it could be in Spain. Who gives a shit? If your home games are in Europe, like the travel schedule is insane. Like
it's crazy.
I don't know how that's fair to the players, but if you keep it in,
you play the first half in America and then you play the back half. But then what do you do with the buys? You got the teams that are going over there. There's no buys late in the year, like.
You make an interesting point, but then you got to be on the road. You got to be away from home for like 8-9 straight weeks.
I mean, it's not. That's
awful.
Why it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
But if they keep it in the same time zone,
it's
much more doable. Like even if it's Brazil, because then at least the games would still be at 1:00 or 4:00. Like that stuff wouldn't change. I don't. The funny thing is, I don't really hate the 9:00 games on Sundays. It's kind of neat because it gives me something to watch first thing in the morning. So that's why I say, like, from a fan's perspective,
5 hours at that point, though. For
you're pretty close. Actually, you're pretty close. You're about 4. But yeah, like I don't mind that. We've talked about with the with the British Open golf tournament. Like, hey, it's kind of cool. You can get up at 5:00 in the morning. You can start watching golf and be done before lunch. And still have the rest of your day. I don't mind that stuff. I just look at it from a player's perspective. It's one thing when it's a one-off game, and then you're going to have a bye week the next week or the week before, however they work that shit out. It's a whole nother animal when you're talking like a full schedule of like weird times. I don't know. It seems like I'm trying to think who would be at the disadvantage. Is it the European team that's at the disadvantage because they're always in a weird place? Plus, they're not Europeans. They're Americans living in Europe. So, like, that's hard, too. So, they're probably the ones at a disadvantage. I don't know. Just kind of – I don't know if I love it. But if it was Brazil, Mexico, Canada, I think that'd be fine. Yeah, I think it'd be fine.
And now what? What are we going to, 38 teams? 30 – what are we doing?
Yeah, because you'd have to add at least 2, right, to keep balance.
Listen, there's not enough talent as there is now. What are we talking about? Come on, man.
Certainly not enough linemen. Definitely not enough quarterbacks.
Right.
So, although we'll see this year with about 10 guys that are coming out, that 10 of them could win the Heisman. Who the frick knows? All right, last story. This just came out within the last hour, to be honest with you, as we record this on a Thursday afternoon. I'm a little surprised at this one, to be honest with you. Brett Venables just got a contract extension, a 2-year extension, which will bring him through 2031. And these 2 years will average $10.5 million a year. What do you think about that? I'm a little surprised because
from
this year,
from a guy that was on the hot seat 17 months ago, 18 months ago,
barely. But there was even talk during the year last year, like early. Then they had a nice, start.
Yeah, and then I don't know, man.
They said like it's not just like when I was reading, it's not just the on the field product which has improved. It's also the culture that he's created.
It's fair.
Maybe that's fair. And so 2-year extension, he was already signed. That means through 29. It's
why fuck with it?
26.
Yeah,
why are you doing?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
That's the part that I'm like, why? Why not see what happens this year or even next year? Even next year, you still got 2 years left on his contract. It's not like he's a lame duck coach or anything like that.
Well, let's see what happens after Mateer leaves too. What are you going to do after him?
That's why I say maybe one more year even. So even if you waited not just this year, also next year, it's still 2 years left.
Yeah.
It's just a strange one to me for a guy who his first couple years, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years at Oklahoma, were a little Didn't they have like 6 wins? What word? We just had 20. 24.
And they got smoked in the Red River rivalry.
Yes. That one. A little surprising to me. That's all. I didn't realize that there was this rush to get him signed.
Yeah, that's
interesting to me.
Well, especially too, man. Right? Like, so we've said it 100 times. If Sark maybe underperforms, if Lincoln Riley maybe underperforms, maybe there's a little reunion coming
bring him back. Yeah. I'm just a little surprised.
Shalom Moore's out there. What's he up to?
Oh, you never know. I'm sure they would love to jump on that wagon.
The
Why
sex
not?
pest himself.
NFC South. Let's do it.
All right, brother. The in surprise fashion, last year the Carolina Panthers won the division. Tampa Bay Bucks finished second. The Atlanta Falcons finished third, and the Saints came up the rear in fourth. Let's start with the new coach. The Atlanta Falcons. As I mentioned,
Kevin Stefanski.
They missed the playoffs. Hired Mr. Stefanski at the head coaching position. They added quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, running back Brian Robinson, not to be confused with Bijan Robinson, running wide receiver Jahan Dotson. In the draft, Avion Terrell out of Clemson in the second round. Zachariah Branch out of Georgia, wide receiver in the third round, which a lot of people are high on. I think he's got a little off-the-field issues. I think that's why he dropped so much.
Gotcha.
And Harold Perkins, I think a sleeper linebacker from LSU, who 2 years ago, if he was eligible, he would have been a top 10 pick. Lost quarterback Kirk Cousins, running back Tyler Algier, and wide receiver Darnell Mooney. Some games of note. Week 3 at Lambeau Field to the Packers. Week 5, host the Ravens. Week 10, host the Chiefs. And Week 13, host the Lions.
Yeah, this is of all the teams in this division, this team to me is probably like the biggest enigma. There is a lot of, how do we say, like draft capital talent on this team. There's a lot of guys that got picked high in the draft that have kind of underperformed, and you're wondering, like, will they perform? And that doesn't include Bijan Robinson.
And then there's peaks from, like, Pitts was bad, then he was great, and then, like...
Right. Everybody looks at, like, Pitts last year had a great game, and what it really was, or a great season, sorry. What it really was is he had 2 great games, and the rest was kind of below average. Like, even if you look at fantasy, which we'll talk about later, like, he had 2 big games fantasy-wise, and the rest was, like, mediocre or below. First preseason game, Tua looked like shit, and you can't even give me the, like, it's cold out, and he's not a cold weather player. Yeah, it's Michael Penix, who I do like, but has been up and down. Again, he's still young, so we'll see, but he's injured. When will he be ready? And even when he is, what does he have? He's better than Tua. That's never been clearer to me than it is now. But there's a lot there to like, and somehow it never comes together. And when I saw Tua not playing well, I immediately started thinking about Stefanski. And I'm like, man, if he doesn't get this to work in the first 2 years, he's probably gone and he'll never be a head coach again. And I think that's kind of wild because I still think he's a pretty good coach.
He won Coach of the Year twice with the folks. Twice.
And to think
with the Cleveland Browns. And
to think that Buffalo Bills job came open after he took the Atlanta job, I still can't help but wonder if he didn't do that and the Bills job came open, would he be there right now? And his whole life is different. Like you're coaching Josh Allen instead of coaching Tua Tagovailoa. Like what the hell? And it's wild to me. That's all.
You can't pass up a phone call either. Though. That's the other thing. Like
certainly not. Yeah, and you don't know if those other and it's not. And of course, yeah, you don't know that you would have gotten the Bills job. I don't know that they seem to like, Joe Brady, and maybe that would have been the way it'd have gone. But not that I wouldn't have done that. I would take Stefanski. But it was the first thing I thought of. I was like, if he's got 2 years, he basically has 2 seasons to turn it around, to really make some improvements. I suspect he will. He did with Cleveland, and that's one of the shittiest organizations in football. You got an owner that cares. You got an owner that'll spend. So, it's there to happen. But that was my first thought. I feel like Stefanski's already, just like that, Stefanski's on a hot seat. On a warm seat. Just like that, I thought that.
The Carolina Panthers won the division last year. They added edge Jalen Phillips and linebacker Devin Lloyd. I like both those players a lot on a really surging defense already. They drafted Monroe Freeling from Georgia in this first round, tackle. They lost running back Rico Dowdle. Not really much transactions with this team. They kind of all piece a little bit together still here. Week 4 host the Lions. Week 6 at the Link for the Eagles. Week 9 host my Broncos, which I'm looking maybe to get down there for that game if I can.
That'd be cool.
And Week 17 host the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
First question: would you drive or fly to that game?
No, I'm a flyer now. Once you make the fly, it's hard to get behind a wheel for 9-10 hours.
Okay. This is an interesting team to me too, because if you take out the 2 Rams games, Carolina was kind of who Carolina is. Win a game that they shouldn't.
Well, did they beat Green Bay too, or did they lose that
That's
game?
what I'm saying. Like they beat Green Bay, but then lose to I don't know, fucking Atlanta or something like that. Have a great game and then have a bad game. Have a great game, then have a bad game. I think so many people are high on them, and I guess I'm included too. I don't know that I'm high on them, but I'm.
Well, you had it pegged last year, bro. I'll give you that.
I'm cautiously optimistic because of how competitive they were. If you play the Rams twice and you're competitive once, okay, you could just say, hey, it's the NFL. I tell people all the time, the best team in the league and the worst team in the league are not as far apart as you think they are.
Right.
It may just be the difference in a quarterback. The difference between the Bills and the Jets, it's not as much as you think. If you put Josh Allen on the Jets, suddenly they're a 10-win team. They're an 11-win team. I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The difference in the NFL between teams is the margins are significantly smaller than people realize. But so if you play the Rams tight once out of 2 times, it's that happens. They did it twice and had them on the ropes in the playoffs.
Both
the
were
team
home as well, though, to be fair. Both long trip for the Rams.
But a team that people think could win the Super Bowl this year.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, I get it. I guess fair. It's fair, but they did it twice, and one of them was in the playoffs. Could have won that game. Maybe should have won that game.
Did they beat them the first time?
They beat him the first time, but they almost beat him in the playoffs. You could chalk up the regular season game to okay, West Coast team coming east. They were already on a roll, 1 loss, whatever. It happens. They're giving their best effort in the playoff game, and they had them. It was there to win. The game was there to win. I think that's what a lot of people are hanging their hat on, justifiably so. So I get it. But there's still those questions, do you have your quarterback? He's so little. There's that kind of stuff that still lingers for me. And I just wonder what the ceiling is. How far can they really go? How good can they get with this quarterback? That I guess that's the question I have. Is he ready to be that good week in and week out?
You're not sold on him yet. Yeah.
I'm just not, and I like him a lot. I just think he's a great kid. I think he works hard, got a great attitude. Just wish he was a little bigger. That's all.
Yeah. The New Orleans Saints, really, really solid back half of the season last year with Kellen Moore. They went to Tyler Shuck. They got some things figured out. They added running back Travis Etienne, and they drafted wide receiver Jordan Tyson, who's now banged up, which sucks.
Yep, out a few weeks,
but
not indefinitely. Yeah, not for
State. Tight end Oscar Delp from Georgia in the 3rd round. They lost to Mario Davis, who's been around, I think, since I was in high school. I think at this point. And cornerback Alante Taylor, 2 big losses on their defense there. Schedule week 1 at the Lions. That's not exactly what you want to be. Week 2 at the Ravens, not exactly what you want to be. Week 12 at the Bengals, and Week 13 hosting the Packers.
Yeah, I think New Orleans to me seems to be one of the underdog darlings in sports media right now. I think a lot of people expect them, or I don't know if the word is hyping, but I'll use it for now because I can't think of anything else. Hyping them to be good this year, improve this year, basically because of what you said. Such a shockingly good second half of the season with Tyler Shuck. There's a lot of excitement about him. I remember when the pre-draft stuff was, and nobody really knew too much about Tyler Shuck, but there were some people that were like, he's really athletic. he's had some strange injuries, good arm, smart kid. You just don't know him. And it's like, okay, well, I get that, but like I kind of need to see it before I'm gonna go along with you on this one. But we kind of saw it as a rookie. I always come back to this where I say, what I'm gonna say. Second year as a starter, teams have some tape on you. All they did all off season is watch film on, especially the guys in your division. What do you do well? Let's try to take that away. Can you now do something else? We shall see. Can Chris Olave stay healthy? We shall see. I like the Etienne pickup because he's kind of like a younger version of Alvin Kamara. So that like fits perfectly to me. That's a nice, you could slide him right in. He does all the same things. Good receiver out of the backfield, solid runner. Been a little bit of a disappointment, I think, with Jacksonville. He didn't live up to what a lot of people thought he was going to be. But it doesn't mean he's not talented and it's not a good fit. So I do like that. And I did really like what I saw from Tyler Shuck. Again, a guy who stuck around college for a while. It wasn't dink and dunk. It was push the ball downfield. And maybe what I like a lot about him even more that people didn't even realize coming out of college is he's really athletic. Like he can take off and run. He's got some wheels. And he's kind of fearless. So I think it's fair for there to be some excitement, anticipation about what's going on in New Orleans, because I suspect if you were to like take a time machine back to the beginning of last year, they probably had like a 3 to 5 year plan in mind. Tyler Shuck maybe is a placeholder until, the great quarterback draft comes along. And now maybe you got your guy. And that's always exciting to think maybe you got your guy.
And I got to give Kellen Moore some credit too. Like
Hell yeah.
A lot of people were like, oh man, he was with Mike McCarthy in Green Bay. I don't know. And then he went to LA with, I don't know, man, the guy could coach.
Yeah. And you and I talked about this previously during the offseason that what I was impressed most was that he never, it's tough for a rookie coach having a bad season. The players can turn a deaf ear to it after a while. It never happened. Like the New Orleans Saints played balls to the wall from game 1 to game 17. Like it never changed. And of all the things, you got to give your head coach credit for that.
Do you think Jalen Hurts misses Kellen Moore? Because I fucking sure do.
And we're gonna find out this year if he misses him even more than we thought he might. So I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued because I think they're way ahead of schedule. Because I think they may have. It's not a prediction. It's just a comment. They may have found a guy, and that's always fun. That's always exciting.
Last but not least, one of our favorite players in the league led Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Missed the playoffs last week of the season.
Yeah.
They added linebacker Alex Anzalone, running back Kenny Gainwell, who I love a lot. Stay tuned for fantasy in the future with running backs. They drafted stud defensive end Ruben Bain from right down the road from Miami.
Love it. Upgrading that line.
They drafted his teammate, cornerback Keontae Scott. They lost Hall of Famer wide receiver Mike Evans, Hall of Fame linebacker Levante David to retirement, and cornerback Jamal Dean. Schedule week 5, hosting the Cowboys. Week 9 at the Bears. Week 11 at the Lions. And week 17, a game that can mean a lot, hosting the Rams.
Something else that just happened this week with Tampa, they gave a 1-year extension to Vita Vea, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of $30 million. There is some serious bread being thrown around to these guys now, man. That's a defensive tackle making $30 million a year. Unbelievable. But
9th year in the league, by the way, making $30
I know,
million.
man. It's unbelievable. So, but it's done and it solidifies it and he's in place. I like some of the things that they've done. I think there's a little unnecessary kind of drama between Baker and the organization because they don't want to give him more than 2 years. The money is not the issue. They offered him basically $100 million over 2 years. Most of it would be guaranteed, if not all of it. And he wants more. He wants somewhere between 3 and 5 years. And in my opinion, for him, that's a fucking mistake. Like, you're still relatively young. Take the 2 years, take the $100 million, play your balls off, and then they're going to have to pay even more. You know what I'm saying? They're going to owe you even more. That number will be north of $60 million if you do well over the next couple of years. But there is some heat, if you want to say. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, there's There's a lot of optimism in Tampa with some of the moves that they made. I know with David being gone, but he's, he got old, and that kind of stuff happens. So you got to replace guys over time.
Oh, I see what you're talking about now with the score. They just put it up.
What's that? Oh, okay.
But they usually had it right next to their name, but now they don't. Now when they show the whole.
Right, they kind of have it. They were only showing it at the cut mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you're fucking useless. I don't even need you now. I got my fucking question.
You just ruined my whole segment later. I'll tell you what I got. I'll give you my order first.
Please.
I got Atlanta in fourth. Man, there's just things going on there I don't like. I don't like the vibe right now, and that to me is a problem with football. In baseball, if there's a bad vibe, good pitcher comes in the next day, you smoke somebody, and the vibe changes so quickly. A bad vibe on a football team is just not good. I don't love it. So I got Atlanta in fourth. I got Carolina in third. I think the top three again this year will be kind of grouped up. But I think, Carolina will end up having a little bit tougher schedule this year because of first place finish last year. And while they still may have like 9 wins, it wouldn't shock me if they have 9 wins. I think they're in third. I got New Orleans in second. I like what I saw. I like what they're doing. I like the direction they're going. And I like Kellen Moore. There's not a lot not to like. And it's the exact opposite of what I'm feeling in Atlanta. Like really good vibes in New Orleans. Kind of a weird day earlier this week. They had a joint practice with the Dallas Cowboys, and it was like 17 fucking fights. And I'm not exaggerating here, folks. I think 17 fights broke out during this joint practice. Excuse me. But I just like the vibe. It just seems like things are going in the right direction there. And I got Tampa in first. One of the biggest reasons to me is like, if you go back to high school, but even like back to Texas Tech when Baker Mayfield was there, tell him he can't do something. Tell him he's not good enough. Put a little chip on his shoulder, and he's the shit. Like, he just is the shit. So I got Tampa winning that division. I could see them winning like 11 games.
I got to be honest with you. I'm shocked at that. But very similar here. I got the Falcons in fourth. A lot going on. Defense is bad.
So many moving parts.
Defensive coordinator, your old boy, all right, Ulbrich, whatever. His wife just passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there.
And there was shit before that with like his son posting some weird shit or whatever. It was,
stuff. Yep. I'm going to go Saints in third, but I think, like you said, I think it's going to be very, very cluttered up top.
It seems like you just tossed a coin on that one.
7, 10 to what?
I feel like you just tossed a coin, like you weren't sure who you were going to have in third.
No, because I can't read my fucking writing because I got so much shit jotted down here. I forgot, like, I write it down, and I write yours down, and I put last year's 6. So I'm like looking at my eyeballs like this. I haven't feeling good, so I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So Saints in third for me. I just think like it's like one game off, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Carolina in second. I like what they're doing, man. I would have liked a little bit more addition at running back. They're going with Chuba Hubbard again. They got this kid Jonathan Brooks that missed all of last year because he was hurt the year before at Texas.
Yeah.
I like their wide receiver room. I like Bryce Young, and I really like their defense. And they added 2 more guys in that defense this year. And the schedule's not overly difficult, although playing a first-place schedule.
You and I have definitely been ahead of the curve with this one about Carolina's defense. We go back to the Matt Rule drafts where they just like hammered draft picks, and he doesn't get the benefit of the fruits of that labor. But yeah, that defense has definitely improved. It's why they're even in the game against the Rams.
I know.
So yeah.
And I'm with you, man. I'm shocked you had Tampa. I thought I was going to be by myself on this one. I am totally on board with a pissed off Baker is a good Baker.
Yes.
And he played last year, I think, fucking 12 weeks really hurt.
Yeah.
Multiple things, arm, leg.
It's always the case. So, yeah, he definitely needs to protect himself a little more. Yeah. Like, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's pushing 30. Like, take care of your body a little bit more, man. You don't have to be a hero. Like, your teammates already love you. You've earned their respect. You've earned the respect of the league.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that anymore. Just be available and be productive, and that's more important right now. You don't have to prove yourself. Your toughness. You don't have to prove your toughness anymore.
Yeah. They will miss Mike Evans, although last year he was starting to look a little older. And
he missed a bunch of games.
Too.
I think, the funny thing is, I think it's good for both teams, because Ibuka will now be number 1, and Evans on Frisco works because they kind of need that veteran wide receiver that can maybe help push them over the edge. They can ease him along as the season goes on. We talked about like time management for him.
And their wide receiver room's thin too, as it was.
Thin.
So that helps them.
I think it actually works for both in that.
That's fair.
So yeah, I like that.
All right, man.
Let's talk a little fantasy football here. We're talking quarterbacks, maybe one that you would avoid and one that you think would be good to grab.
So, quarterback for me to avoid is Philadelphia Eagles' Jalen Hurts.
Not a stat monster anyway, for sure.
I understand the rushing touchdown thing, but last year it came back to earth. The tush push came back to earth. He's a year older. He lost a big-time wide receiver who we didn't get along with anyway, so that's a red flag, number one. Number two, Devontae Smith's a really great player. He's a phenomenal number two. I don't think he's a number one.
We don't know, yeah.
Offensive line, another year older. Lane Johnson on his swan song he just announced. Offensive line coach gone.
Big one.
Defenses they played. Dallas is better. Giants are better. They played them 4 times. Offense coordinator's a mystery.
For sure.
So that's a guy that I would probably stay away from.
You make some great points there. He passing wise, he's not a stat monster anyway. I was just talking to somebody today about this. Like, if you look historically with Jalen Hurts as quarterback for the Eagles, up until last year, they've always had one of the top 3 offensive lines in the league. And last year, I'm not even sure if it was top 10. If it was closer to 10 than 2. And I think that has a lot to do with their historical success with him as quarterback. The Devontae Smith thing is very interesting to me. Talent-wise, I think he could absolutely be a number one. The thing is, he's real slight. Like, he's thin as a rail, man. And when you're the number one guy, you're going to get banged around a lot more. There'll be some double coverages. You'll have safeties banging you around, linebackers pressing. And I don't know that he's ready to take the physical beating that comes. A.J. Brown is basically a fucking tight end playing wide receiver. Like, he's a big physical dude. I just don't know. We've seen thin receivers be number one receivers and do just fine. That's my question. Like, can he handle the physicality of being a number one receiver? Now you're expected to get first downs. You're not just to blow the top off the guy, blow the top off the coverage guy. You're going to have to get first downs, and that means 8 and 10 and 12-yard routes, and those are the ones where you get blasted a lot more. Those are the questions for me. And obviously, great point with the coordinator. I hear good things. I like what I'm hearing. Regular season is a whole different animal. Making adjustments at halftime is a whole different animal. These are the types of things that people don't think of. Like, what was Belichick always so great at was the halftime adjustments. What was Cliff Kingsbury so awful at, which was halftime and second half of the season adjustments. So, those are definitely some real concerns. For me, QB to avoid, Jaden Daniels. I love Jaden Daniels. Obviously, I liked him coming out of college more than Caleb Williams. Problem is, you could take this all the way back to Arizona State and maybe even before that. He's just an injury waiting to happen. If you really look back at the last 4 years since his last year at Arizona State, the only time he was completely healthy was his 1 year with LSU. When he won the Heisman, like, he played the full season, no real significant injuries. First year as a pro, injuries. Second year as a pro, out, with an injury. So I'm always, talent-wise, it's there. Like, I have no questions about the talent, his passing ability, running ability, smarts, leadership, all that stuff's all there. This is purely like, if you're going to take him, because you would have to take him early. You're going to take a guy who
6 rounds probably, right?
Yeah, pretty early. So you're taking a guy who might not play most of the season or might miss 4 or 5 games. That scares me. That scares me. So that's why, for me, I would stay away.
Can I add 2 things on that? Because you see this LSU bullshit with him with the NIL.
Oh my God, it's embarrassing. So this has got to be driven by his mom, right? Because
so that's point number 2. That relationship is fucking way bizarre.
What are you doing?
So, dude, my advice to Jaden Daniels, right? Go look around college sports and see how many star athletes have their number recycled, you fucking jackass.
What are we talking about, dude?
Charles Woodson won a Heisman Trophy for Michigan. Blake Corum wore the same number. Will Johnson wore the same number.
Stay in the same school. Joe Burrow won a Heisman and won a national championship and went undefeated, one of the greatest college football offensive seasons in history, and his number's not retired. His number can be used and has been used. Tim Tebow won 2 national championships. Some consider the greatest college football player of all time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some people say that. 2 national championships. Beloved. Florida guy through and through. His number is not retired. Walk away, dude. Just walk away from this one. This is unnecessary. Like, why?
Have you watched a quarterback on Netflix?
No.
So Jaden Daniels is on it from last year. And him and his mom. It's weird, bro.
It's just not. That's not healthy.
It's weird,
dude. It's so hard to be a quarterback in the NFL. Why? Why?
She's at practices.
It's just weird, dude. It's not healthy, and this is the stuff that like scares me long term. Because what are you gonna do? Even if he thought this was like, what the fuck is going on? What are you gonna do? Fire your mom? Now you're kind of stuck with this shit. This is the kind of stuff that I look and I'm like, if I'm another team. Like, let's say he just gets pissed at the Commanders and it's like, I don't ever want to play here. I'm done here. I need to trade me or I'm going to run out my contract. I don't want to be involved with that shit. No. If you're a good GM, maybe the Browns would take him. Maybe the Jets would take him. Maybe the Cardinals.
Seattle? You think the fucking...
No. None of these good organizations would touch that. Why would you want to? Why would you want to be on top of the fact that he's fragile? And now I got to deal with mom shit? No, thank you, dude. No way. It's just completely unnecessary. The best thing he could do right now is hold a press conference and say, you know what? This went way too far. I'm no longer pursuing this. It is so far in my rearview mirror that I'm not interested anymore, and I'm only looking forward to what I can do with the Commanders. And just put an end to this shit. Because this is wildly unnecessary and only causes problems. Just bizarre, man. Bizarre.
Bad. Peter, quarterback for me to snag.
Now, I don't know who you picked, but when I thought like a quarterback to grab, there's the obvious guys who you would take. We're talking about like someone that you might not have been thinking about. Hey, here might be a guy to grab that you weren't thinking.
Out Josh Allen is what you're saying? Yeah, I know what you meant, my friend.
Yeah.
So I went later rounds. See, I'm a guy in the league where I like to stack my roster up, running backs, wide receivers, get a pretty solid tight end, and I could get a quarterback later.
I'm with you on that.
So for me, is quarterback from the Seahawks Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold.
Do you think you can get him that late after having won a Super Bowl?
In a couple of my mock drafts, he's going maybe undrafted in a couple of drafts. 15,
get out of here.
So I think this guy. Oh my God. I agree.
Great call then.
I think this guy is going to be more relied on this year. He's proven to everybody the last 2 years he's a fucking not a piece of shit.
For sure.
So now, running back wise, they let the Super Bowl MVP walk out the door. The backup's going to miss half the year. They're going to have a rookie running back behind him. So they're going to let Sam cook, I think. Now they have a proven tight end on A.J. Barner. Wide receiver speed and Rashid Shaheed. The best receiver in the league, maybe top 2, top 3 if you want to argue with JSN. Sure. Mike McDonald's a defensive guy. Has his ring out there in Seattle. They're going to be in some shootouts, man, too. Rams, Niners, they're going to be in some games. Let Sammy cook. Now, you tell me you get this guy 13 round, 14 as a starter?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because it's not just the winning that he's done over the last 2 years. It's the statistical. It's the numbers are there. The touchdowns are there. Low interceptions. That's wild to me. And the other thing is, I know fantasy, veteran fantasy players know this, but for those who are never done it before and you're thinking about doing it, playoffs don't count. Like the playoffs aren't involved, and the NFL playoffs aren't involved in this. So if you were one of those over a year ago that were like, well, he doesn't do well in the playoffs, well, that doesn't even matter. Like it's just a purely regular season, a game that you're playing here with fantasy football. So, and he just proved that anyway last year by doing great in the playoffs. So that's not even a point anymore. That's crazy, man. I didn't realize that he's kind of projected to go that low. That's wild to me. That's really wild to me. I have a backup. Would have been my second choice, but QB for me to grab. I kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier. Baker Mayfield to me, I think you could probably get him a little, probably a lot later. And you give me a Baker Mayfield that's pretty healthy, came to camp in the probably best shape that he's been in a few years since he was probably a rookie or second year, with a chip on his shoulder, with people saying that he's, not good enough to get a big time contract. His own organization telling him he's not good enough to get. I'm sorry. I think he's going to put up some real monster numbers. And the other thing with him, complete opposite of Jaden Daniels, plays hurt, always on the field, never misses games. Like no matter what, he finds a way. Even when he is banged up, he plays. That goes all the way back to when he was with the Browns and played with fucked up shoulder, ribs, whatever the hell he's going on. The guy plays and puts up numbers, throws touchdown passes. So, and they rely on him. So I love the idea of Baker Mayfield with a chip on his shoulder, with people doubting him, his own organization doubting him. Give me that one. I love that one a lot.
Yep, I like it too.
I don't know where his projection is in the mocks that you've looked at, but I got to believe it's not near the top. There's got to be a lot of guys that go before him.
No, he's been drafted as like a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Still, like,
I think he could be a steal.
Those guys are valuable, though, man. When those guys going down, that's...
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, guys get hurt. Like, even if, I'm not wishing it on anybody, but, like, even if you got a Josh Allen, to take a Baker Mayfield late in the draft, if you have most of your draft, worked out. And here's another thing. What great trade bait that you have. Like, you could, if you had a Baker Mayfield and someone else in your league loses their quarterback, you could get a haul. You can really pick up some nice pieces, because if you don't have a quarterback, it's a complete waste of time to even participate in fantasy football. So, you got to have something like that. The guy who I was waffling with to avoid was Lamar Jackson, because again, 3 straight seasons of injuries. He doesn't put up monster passing numbers, although the touchdowns will be there. The yards is probably won't be there. And I just keep coming back to this idea that he has lost a step. He's clearly lost a step as a runner. And now defenses play him differently because he's not the same. He's still a threat to run. I'm not trying to say he's a goddamn statue. He's not Tom Brady in the pocket, but he's not the same running threat that he once was. And I think there's even a mental thing there where he doesn't want to be the running threat. He's constantly in this, I got to prove to people that I can throw the ball. I don't need to run. I think it's a mistake. Lean into your strengths is the way I look at it. But I think he looks at it like that. And I wouldn't draft him near the top. So that's just.
Can I throw you one for me that scares the shit out of me?
In a good way or bad way?
Bad way.
And a void way?
And I like him. I like the juice. Jackson Dart.
To avoid. Yeah, because I'm with you on that one, because I this idea that John Harbaugh took the job because they got their guy in Jackson Dart, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just not there. He just went into the blue tent again in a preseason game, for Christ's sake.
Fucking smoked, too.
He did. But then you can't complain about they send you to the tent when you lay on the field like you just got murdered.
I know.
Like they're gonna have a yellow tape outline around your body. Like he just lied there like he literally was dead. You can't do that, dude. So, you gotta get up.
Along with the injury risk, they're still bringing in running backs. Malik Neighbors is like, it's such a
not ready yet, right?
Yeah. Healthy or not? I mean, they cut Juju Smith-Schuster for Christ's sake to bring in Najee Harris. Your other receivers are.
I can point to games last year where he threw for 120 yards, multiple games.
Your wide receivers are Calvin Austin, Darnell Mooney, maybe Odell Beckham, who's 104 years old. Oh, no. I mean, there's a lot. I know Isaiah Likely's a good player. Right? Harbaugh likes
it. Should help, yeah.
But they want to pound it. They got Scatterboo, they got Richard, they got Najee, they got Singletary. I don't know.
I'm with you. It's too much of an unknown, and the way he's being presented as this, no doubt darling, he's going to be fantastic. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's not.
Right.
I'm just saying I don't know that, and I don't care who you are. You don't know that. I don't care if it's John Harbaugh. He doesn't know that. Nobody knows that yet. You don't know that he's your franchise quarterback. You just don't know it. And the funny thing is, if he has a season similar to last year, and they're drafted near the top, they're going to take a quarterback. I hate to break it to you, with the guys that are coming out this year, they're going to take a quarterback. So nobody should be sold 100% hook, line, and sinker that Jackson Dart is your guy. I'm just not there. So I'm with you on that. Like I would definitely, I would avoid that. If it's late, I don't know how many rounds do you usually go in a fantasy draft?
It depends. My league 16. There's one that's 18. There's one that's 17. It's all.
So let's just say somewhere in the 15 range. If you wanted to take him at 14, 15 because your roster's complete, then so be it. Whatever. But if you're looking to count on somebody, no way. Not for me.
League too, that's a keeper league. If you take him after, you've dropped him in the 17th round, you get him next year for the 9th. So
oh yeah, no thanks.
It's you maybe stash him, but
yeah. Yeah, I just haven't seen the from a fantasy perspective, I just haven't seen the stats for him to justify any kind of like real pick there. So I'm with you on that. Yeah, I like this. I like this because it's kind of like our wheelhouse, but with the fantasy side of it. So we'll get to this next. We'll get to some more of that next week. Maybe we'll take a look at wide receivers or running backs, something like that. Also, what we need to get to, maybe we should next week take a look at some college football stuff. It's about that time, which gives me that itch. It gives me that itch. I got a feeling I'm going to be breaking out pen and paper, drawing plays. It's always college football that does it for me, not the NFL. So. Very cool. FedEx Cup started last week. Scotty did it again. Ran away with it. And here's what I thought. All season, we've been hearing like Scotty Scheffler, it's not the same. What's wrong with him? And the funny thing about that is he's still number one coming in before this tournament. He was number one in FedEx Cup points.
Not even close.
So how wrong is your season going that you're the best? And I thought about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you disagree with this. There are a lot of guys on the tour that if they're playing their game, like they're playing their best game, like I think of like a Rory, DeChambeau, like go down a list, like, Rahm. If they're playing their best, they can win a tournament. If Scotty is playing his best, he can't lose the tournament.
You're right.
We've come to a point, and that's, I feel very good about 2 years ago when I said, is Scotty becoming Tiger-esque, Tiger-like? And you were hesitant, fairly hesitant, because it was a little too early. We're at that point now. Because when he ran away with this one. And this matters. This is not some like side chick tournament. You know what I mean? Like this is
you're not playing Ridgewood for fucking 15,000.
Yeah, like this is a big deal. And he starts rolling and he's gone. Like he's just gone. He leaves everybody in the dust. When he's playing Scotty Scheffler's best golf, you're not beating him. We're at that point now where he's not going to lose if he's playing his best. So I think maybe that's what people were talking about most of the year when they're like, so what's wrong? There were like little things that were happening. Like he wasn't winning tournaments. He was only coming in second or third. And it's like, do you people know how hard it is to finish in the top 10 against like 150 fucking guys? Like
also too, his wife had another baby. Like a lot going on.
But week in, week out, he's right there. And he wasn't at his best.
So today,
but when he is,
he's 4 over today.
Is he?
A good story right now. Gary Woodland tied for the lead. That's a tremendous story.
Fantastic. We'd love to see him do well.
He had a brain cancer and then a brain aneurysm later in the year, fighting depression and all that, man. It's
Yep.
PTSD. It's
couple interesting guys did not. Like we were talking earlier about like what was the cutoff? 70 or 75?
Is it 70 or is it 60? Maybe 60.
You might be right. It might have been 60.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth was teeter-tottering right on that line. When I was watching, he was in. An hour later, he was out, and he's out. Brooks Koepka didn't even make it to the FedEx Cup.
No.
Who else? Somebody else, some other big name didn't make the cut. I'm drawing a blank on who it was. Shit, I had it earlier, and I didn't write it down because I'm like, I'm not going to forget that one. And I forgot that one. So a couple.
Because I'm saying Ricky, Justin Thomas are in. Fitzpatrick's are in. Goddard is in.
I can't remember who it is now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. A couple name guys are out. And
a lot more will be out Sunday night. So.
Yeah, so what do they cut it down to this week?
30.
So it'll be only the top 30 going into the final weekend. And are they still doing it like they did last year where everybody starts off at even par to start that third tournament? Okay, so we'll see. I kind of liked it the way it was. Like you earned the lead.
You could follow it better, I think.
Yeah, plus you earned the lead. Like if you're number one, you've earned the lead. So you should be in the lead. But whatever. That's fine. It is what it is. So
yeah, but like you said too, if you give Scotty a fucking 10-stroke lead, it's over.
I guess that's kind of part of it, right? Like if he's sitting there at -10 and you're starting off at even par, it's like, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
What am I doing? So I get that. But it's been fun, and we've said this. I think it's brilliant. PGA Tour was really smart, fast forwarding the season and getting everything in before the NFL season starts, so that there's still eyes on you, paying attention, caring. And so we got 2 weeks left in that. We'll see where are they playing this week?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, we got trivia.
We do.
All right.
Peter, who is first all-time in passing yards with the Rams?
First all-time passing yards with the
Franchise,
Rams.
The whole fucking franchise.
Yep. Okay. I got a name in mind.
Roman Gabriel, Jim Everett, Matt Stafford, Mark Bulger.
Okay. My name is not on the list. So
Kurt
good.
Warner.
Kurt Warner would have been on. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So say it again.
Roman Gabriel, Jim Everett, Matt Stafford, Mark Bulger. Yards, passing yards.
Wow. Jim Everett was there for a while. Was he there for at least a decade?
Okay, Chris.
Yeah. Remember that? I watched that live. I watched that happen live. That's what fucking
Wasn't
old
he
I
on that
am.
show? Up close or something?
Jim Rome.
Oh, Jim Rome. Yeah.
Yep. Everett was there for a long time. He put up monster numbers too, man. God. You go to Purdue?
He did.
He's a Purdue guy, yeah. One more time with the list.
Roman Gabriel, Jim Everett, Matt Stafford, Mark Bulger.
I just feel like Matt Stafford hasn't been there long enough, man. What's it been? 4 seasons?
I think at least four, right? Because they won the Super Bowl, in 21?
But that was his first. He won it in his first year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Could he have, puts up just stupid numbers every year. Yards or touchdown passes?
Yards.
You're not going to give me that Roman Gabriel shit. It's not Bulger. He just wasn't there long enough. I'm going to go with Jim Everett.
Nice job.
All right, good. He was there at least a decade.
I think he was.
Yeah, at least.
With the bright yellow and the bright blue uniform.
Struggled in the playoffs, though.
A lot of guys do it, my friend.
That was the whole Chrissy Everett. That's where it all came from, because he choked a lot and fumbled a lot when he got hit.
And they call him Chris. That's good.
Yeah. Jim Rome called him Chrissy Everett, and he goes, "Say it again." And he goes, "Chris."
Right.
He did it right to his face.
Coach, who's first all time in passing touchdowns?
Passing touchdowns. Okay.
Roman Gabriel, Kurt Warner, Norm Van Brocklin, Jim Everett.
Okay, interesting, because Matt Stafford is not on that list. Kurt Warner, greatest show on turf. He threw tons of touchdowns. Would you give me Jim Everett twice? What was the list again?
Roman Gabriel, Kurt Warner, Norm Van Brocklin, Jimmy Everett.
Do I dare go with Kurt Warner? Man, he just threw so many touchdowns. But was he there long enough, man? I don't know. Because his one season would be 2 seasons for Everett. I'm going to give it a shot. Kurt Warner.
Roman Gabriel.
Damn it. Do you have the list of what order it was in?
Yeah, so Jim Everett was second.
Okay.
Norm Van Brocklin was 5th, and Kurt Warner was 7th.
Damn. No
I
shit.
think if I had to throw some names in there to take.
Bulger ahead of him?
No, but Stafford definitely was.
Yeah, okay. He just wasn't there long enough. I guess, what was it, 4 years then?
I think 3 or 4. And then the one he missed because injury, right? And then, it was a Giant after that. So
yes. And he thought his career was over.
And then he went to the Cardinals, yeah.
And goes to another Super Bowl.
Crazy.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have been just off of the Rams and Giants.
I know. Yeah.
It was kind of a throwaway for him to go to Arizona.
2 or 3 guys that have short careers that have gone. Terrell Davis, Gale Sayers, and yeah, that definitely helped him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
The monster stats with the Rams helps, but
yeah,
it's going a second time with kind of a bad franchise too.
He did, because he went to 3, right? You forget he went to 3 because they lost that one in New England after the show on turf.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
I forgot that.
I
won a big bet on that game.
That one, dude.
I took New England with the points. They won the game outright. But yeah, I fucking forgot that. That's right. Good point. I forgot. Yeah, so he went to 3 Super Bowls. Oh, it's a no-brainer then.
Yeah.
But the Arizona one closes it out. Yeah. I got to get this one. Come on.
I think that's what happened with Stafford too. I think Stafford's a no-brainer now too. Super Bowl and then an MVP.
Yeah. You need that second pedestal thing, whatever that thing is. It could be MVP, Super Bowl win,
appearing, yeah,
and then maybe
All Pro or whatever they do.
Some kind of like
2 All Pros, 3 All Pro,
statistical anomaly kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, let's go 2 for 3 here. Who was first all time in rushing yards with the Rams?
First all-time rushing yards. I mean, there's an obvious name in my head.
This is a list.
Oh, Jesus.
Marshall Faulk.
Damn.
Todd Gurley. Steven Jackson. Eric Dickerson.
See, Eric Dickerson was the one that was on my mind. Who else did you say?
Todd Gurley, Marshall Faulk, Steven Jackson.
So Marshall Faulk was great, but he also was with the Colts and was great. Like, he kind of split it up. Like Dickerson is yards. It can't be Gurley. And plus, he got hurt. Marshall Faulk. So I'm down to Marshall Faulk, Dickerson, and who?
Steven Jackson.
No, he didn't have a long enough run. I can't. It has to be. It's got to be Dickerson. It's got to be. Plus, Marshall Faulk caught a lot of balls. He was there. Wasn't he there during Greatest Show on Turf? So he caught a lot of balls. They threw the shit out of the ball.
I love this. This makes my day. It really does. It just does.
You just love you're like my kids. Like when I stub my toe and I scream or yell or something, they laugh. They're not, hey, Dad, you okay? No. It's
yeah, you hit your funny bone. You're like,
you guys love my pain. I can't do it. Out of respect, I gotta go with Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson was number 2.
No, don't tell me it's Marshall Faulk.
It's Steven Jackson.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? That's a surprise to me.
There for a long time.
Was he really?
Yeah, they were bad then. No one gave a shit.
That's what it is. Was he there when like Goff was there?
Bradford, I think, right? And then maybe Goff.
And then Goff. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Damn it. I wouldn't have gotten that one.
I think Gurley was there with Goff, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought Gurley was there in the beginning of McVay.
Well, Goff and
then that would have been with Goff. Yeah. Good point. Damn you. I wouldn't have got that one. I wouldn't have picked Steven Jackson.
This is great.
Fuck. That sucks. Damn it. All right. What are you watching this weekend?
Golf. Baseball.
Yeah.
Broncos play the Packers tomorrow, a little preseason. I think we're going to have some starters play. I'll probably DVR it and watch. I'll be at the Yankee game tomorrow night. So
speaking of Yankees, speaking of baseball, can the Yankees score more than one run?
It's not great, dude.
Bro.
It's not great. It's not.
The pitching is fantastic.
It's
like the pitching really couldn't be much better.
The bullpen's exhausted. It's like
gotta be. I'm like, man, like I started watching again. I don't watch a lot of regular season baseball, but I started watching. I'm like,
it's getting interesting. It's getting late.
But it's also like, why am I sitting here watching bullshit when the Yankees are on? Like, I don't even have to pay attention. Just have it on. So I've been watching. I'm like, bro,
it's boring.
It's rough. It's rough.
Well, they're getting Bellinger back maybe this weekend. Judge, I doubt. I really don't think Judge is coming back, dude.
You don't think so? They keep making it sound like he is. Get Stanton coming back. I'm really curious to see, when Stanton comes back, how they work the lineup.
I agree.
Because you got Ben Rice at first. You got Luis
Garcia Jr.
Luis Garcia also plays first. They've been flip-flopping with DH and first base. Well, then what does that mean? Stanton's going to play left field? I mean, Ken.
What's Rice going to go? What's Rice going to go behind the plate and catch? Like, what are you going to do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got 3 guys for like one fielding position, and
3 for 2. Yeah, really. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess Stanton is going to have to. Can Ben Rice play anywhere else?
He could catch.
He's a first baseman, though. He's first
catcher.
Yeah. He did. Yeah, but you can't just throw a guy in a catcher. You can throw a guy at first base. You can't just throw him.
Not how good that staff's been. You can't fuck with the staff now with that either.
Right. Good point. That's going to be wild, man. I guess Stanton's going to have to, because Garcia doesn't play anywhere else either, right?
Well, he played second base, and Jazz has been so bad and so tough to watch.
He can't hit for shit right now.
Mess, dude. And he has no situational hitting. He's a mess.
Wow. I do like the kid that they brought up and put a short.
This is a team that Brian and fucking Boone run. Like, it's a disaster.
It's so sad because the pitching has been just rock solid, steady. Like really,
And the AL stinks. I don't trust the Rays. They always choke in the playoffs. Like,
yeah. Damn. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one, but it's ugly. It's been really ugly. So, yeah, I'm gonna be watching FedEx Cup 2 and some baseball. But yeah, of course, tonight you gotta watch. You gotta see what's going on with football, man. Like it's football season. Like even at least the first half. You know me though. I like watching like the backups and third stringers because those are the guys we remember from college and we're kind of rooting for them or seeing how they can do. And it's always fun to see guys that maybe didn't get drafted or were late round picks. Hey, can you play well and make the team stick around? I get a kick out of that because, like, I don't know, that's kind of a lot of what we do with the college football stuff, seeing if guys can make it in a pro. So it's always interesting. For Scott Bracey, I'm Pete Colasano. You've been listening to Bump and Run. We'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
All right.
Oh, I'm glad my voice made it through. It was battling through at the end.
You know, so you texted me yesterday, right? With
Tuesday.
No. I'm saying with the schedule, like the 213 and I was working, but I was about to text you like, hey, if you're not up to it, dude, we could just double up on a division next week. But obviously, you thugged it out, so we're all right.
We got through it. Yeah, it's
all right. I'll have this out. Tonight. No problem.
Awesome, bro. Thank you, sir.
I'll talk to you later.
Later.